Hello folks and welcome to Friday's edition of Magoo Sports News. It's the weekend again and hopefully we'll get a Gillette Soccer Saturday this week because of the Scottish Premier League. Who knows, I'm in a better mood anyway than Monday because I've forgotten about our horrible performance last week, so let's see what's been going on this week. So folks, what's been going on this week? Few little results to tell you about. First and foremost, into the Champions League qualifying. It is that time of the year again. We're moving into the Champions League, which is going to be a great year for Champions League. So, Rangers got off to the worst possible start. A home game against a supposed minnow of Malmo. I mean, they're not a bad team, but still. Rangers lost the game 1-0. And I tell you what, it could have been worse. Rangers only realistically had 2 good chances. Both fell to Stephen Naismith and he fluffed it. Malmo, on the other hand, had an absolute string of chances. If it wasn't for Alan McGregor in goal, then Malmo would have won 2 or 3-0. So Rangers really struggling now to get into the next qualifying round of the Champions League, which would be bad news for Scotland. So they basically lost into the Europa League qualifying, and English teams fared a little bit better. Both Fulham and Stoke had a game against a split team. Fulham drew 0-0 away to RNK Split 0-0. Stoke beat Hajduk Split 1-0 at home. So not too bad there. Fulham obviously got the home game now, so they should go through on that. And Stoke, tricky away game, they're 1-0 up. All they need is an away goal to pretty much secure the deal. And the other result was that Hearts played Pax in Hungary and they drew 1-1. So they got their away goal, so once they bring that back to Edinburgh, they should be able to go through. Now, in the transfer market, biggest transfer of the summer has occurred. Sergio Aguero completed his move to Manchester City. Manchester City strike force is unbelievable. They can't seem to offload the guys that they want to sell. Craig Bellamy, and Emmanuel Adebayor, Carlos Tevez. I mean, you're talking about 60-70 million pounds worth of talent just there. So, good signing for them. Inverness Cali Thistle, have to give a mention to them as they're my team. They've basically signed Owain Jones, who's a Welsh fella, played for Norwich, didn't get much of a chance, 26-year-old. He's a midfielder, so hopefully he'll bring some sort of skill to our midfield so that we can keep the ball down and pass it a bit better than we did last week. Dundee United are having trouble. It looks like they're going to lose their 2 best players of David Goodwillie and what's the other guy, Stephen Thompson. They're looking like they're going away for £2 million each, so that's bad news for them. They'll need to replace them if they're going to stand a chance of doing anything in the SPL. Now, FIFA, once again, back to these buggers. They've announced that they're going to now use goal line technology, or at least make a decision on it in March next year, which essentially means they're going to use it. Now, for me personally, I think this is just a token offering because they feel under pressure because the fans want video evidence. This is an absolute joke. It's not enough. We want full video evidence. Sepp Blatter, get it sorted. Goal line technology is used maybe 3 times a year at most, and then, you know, he thinks by offering us this we'll pipe down about video technology. I say to the football fans, no, let's keep on making a fuss about wanting video technology. We'll have a system in use that, you know, they can only use it 3 times, so it doesn't slow play down. That's the biggest fear. So it will make the game so much better. Anyway, what else? Rugby League, some important news in the Rugby League, and the RFL have announced the new team roster. The way the Super League works is there's sort of a promotion relegation thing, but it depends if they meet certain criteria. Anyway, Crusaders have not renewed their license to play because of financial worries. The trouble is with this team, they only get a small crowd of 2,000 to 3,000 per game, which isn't enough to support a team in the Super League. So they went into administration last year. They've been struggling ever since and they just haven't recovered. Now, Witness will replace them in the Super League next year. I'm going to have a little chat about this on my viewer comments because somebody mentioned this, so I'll talk about that later on. And finally, in the golf, Tiger Woods has announced that he's going to come back next week, so we can all laugh at him at how crap he is now. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, that's all that's been going on. So folks, what have we got coming up this weekend? Well, I've got beer coming up this weekend and television time with football, rugby league, golf, tennis, snooker, Formula 1 and I can't think of anything else. So, start off with the SPL. Like I said, hopefully we're going to Gillette Soccer Saturday so I can sit there and watch the results come in. Inverness Cali Thistle, we're playing at home to Hibernian. We really need to win that game because only 2 teams have lost so far this season. Us and them. Rangers are away to St Johnstone. Celtic aren't playing this weekend because they're in the Dublin Cup with Manchester City, etc. Talking of the Dublin Cup, that's on this weekend. It's Inter Milan, Manchester City, and Celtic, and an Irish 11. Should be okay. Watch out for that. Also, the Emirates Cup this weekend. Let's see how Arsenal do. They've got a young lad, Rio Miyachi, who looks amazing. He's almost as fast as Theo Walcott, but he's much more skillful. Arsenal play Boca Juniors on Saturday, 4:20 in the afternoon, and then they play Red Bull New York on Sunday afternoon, again at 4:20. So watch out for that as well. Under 20s World Cup starts this weekend. Strange time to be starting an Under 20 World Cup when the actual leagues are starting up again. You would think that, but not at all. Basically, what the teams have done, England are in there, but all their good players for the under-20s are not playing. They didn't get selected, people like Phil Jones, because the Premiership's starting. So it just, you have to beg the question, why do FIFA time these things so badly? Because they're morons. So anyway, that starts on tonight, in fact. I'll keep you up to date with the scores because it's in Colombia and it's late at night, so I'll keep you up to date with what's going on. Give you a heads up of any players to keep an eye out for as well. So what else? The Rugby League, and it's back to Super League action this weekend. Challenge Cup was great last week, but a couple of fixtures really to mention. The only good ones is Castleford are playing St Helens. Big game this one because Castleford win. They really do stand a chance of getting in that top 4 and avoiding the first round of playoffs. So that's on Sunday at 3:30. Should be a great game. Hull are playing Wigan again. This is top versus a team that need to win to get into the playoffs. That's on Friday, 8 PM. We really are getting close to the playoffs. It's going to be great. I'm so looking forward to it. Huddersfield also play Hull KR. Hull and Hull KR are literally teetering on the brink of the playoffs. So that's Saturday, 7:15. The rest of the fixtures are pretty much a gimme, like Warrington versus Salford, etc. They should win. Now into the Rugby Union, and the Tri-Nations continues. Tri-Nations has got to be the best tournament in international rugby union outside of the World Cup. New Zealand are playing South Africa, and yes, you all want to watch New Zealand. They are the All Blacks. Gonna be great. That's on tomorrow morning, that being Saturday, 8:35 in the morning. Now, I will mention one thing though. The problem with the Tri-Nations this year is because it's so close to the World Cup, the away teams, which is South Africa at the moment, are fielding a weak side. South Africa basically have got their kids. So New Zealand will be fielding their full strength team because they're at home, and they'll be using this as a practice game, sort of as a build up to the World Cup. So it should still be a good game. So Formula 1, we've got the Hungarian Grand Prix coming up this weekend. Of course, Felipe Massa returns to the scene where that big spring knocked him in the head, so he'll need to have a spring in his step to win the race. Ho, 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 get it? Anyway, also in the golf, we've got the European Tour, which is the Irish Open. A lot of good players in there, so maybe worth a watch on the Sunday afternoon, as usual. USPGA is the Gren Breer Classic, so again, if you have nothing to do Sunday night, watch the final of that, or the climax. So what else have we got? Cricket, second test has already started, and I will tell you, England are struggling. 2 wickets down already. India seem to have shaken off the fact that Zahir Khan's not playing, and basically they are absolutely on fire. So that's everything that's coming up this weekend. I'll mention the fantasy football next, folks. Keep an eye out for all the sport. I am looking forward to it. So folks, like I said, the fantasy football. Come on guys, let's get signed up. After my message last week, I think only one person signed up. This is an opportunity to prove you know about your football. And the thing is, I'd like to mention as well, a lot of the teams seem to be from Edinburgh this year. We've got people like the Uphall Slammers, as you can see up there. The there's something or other. I mean, what the hell? Where are all the guys from Inverness? Where are all the guys from England? Let's get some English teams in there. Throw in Inverness United. Let's get a bit of a rivalry going. Fantasy football is going to be great. It doesn't take much time. You don't have to change your team every week. So let's get on with it. So that's all for this week, folks. I'm going to get off, crack open a beer, watch some football, and get on with my weekend. Hope you guys have a good weekend yourselves. I am always Magoo. See you guys on Monday.